Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast here with Jessica Bun Bun, and this video is our latest True Detective Night Country theory. And we're talking a little bit about Twist and Shout, which before this show came out, I think all of us just thought this was just a nice, fun, dancey anthem that was played at various sock hops for generations.
Listen, it still is. I'm not letting this show take that away from me.
It's got a lot of dark meanings that are going on here. This is a song that has basically appeared or was heard in some shape or form across every single episode of the series so far, and there's obviously a lot of deliberate reasons for that. This is connecting clearly to certain elements of Danvers' past. It's connecting to what's happening over at Salal. Like, is there meaning to the lyrics of this song? Is there something to extract from that thematically? Like, who knew there'd be so much to just dive into from this song that has a pretty simple melody at its core?
Yeah, I mean, we're also going to have some theories of how this ties into Wheeler and how he was whistling it when Navarro and Danvers came in to arrest him.
All right, well,
Arrest him.
arrest him.
Yeah.
All right, well, be sure to hit that subscribe button because, yeah, we are here with a lot of True Detective theories and the reactions and reviews throughout all of this season. We don't want you guys to miss any of that.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's start with the theme song. And I'm not even talking about Twist and Shout at this point. I'm talking about the song. This is, Bury a Friend by Billie Eilish, which when I first heard that this was the theme song for Night Country, I was kind of like, like that's weird. And to me, it's weird mostly just because if I think back to some of the other theme songs we've had for prior seasons, they weren't songs that I was altogether familiar with. And this is one that I had heard before Night Country came out. And it was like, okay, are they just trying to have a Billie Eilish theme song because they're trying to just get attention for the show? In that case, yeah, it makes sense. But now, when I really thought a lot about it, like a lot of the content of this theme song is like, what do you want from me? And then you kind of compare that to Twist and Shout, where it's just like, come on and twist a little closer now and let me know that you're mine. It's a really, this may be intentional or not. It's very curious to me that one of these is sort of questioning what you want from someone else. And the other one is basically declaring it. And it's just like, let me know you're mine. And I think there's a very deliberate sort of tie in there. So it's like, okay, they actually chose this Billie Eilish song because they were connecting it to something that was actually going on the show.
Okay, so we've heard this song so many times during the show. I mean, when we first had, Danvers go up to the lab, Ferris Bueller's Day Off was playing, and it was playing this song, very famous scene, iconic scene from the movie. And, the other people that are there are like, we can't get it to stop. Nobody can find the remote. And she's losing her mind over it. Just is like, I hate this song. It's like, well, why do you hate this song? And we've had a little bit of flashbacks to her, like with her family and having these really nice memories with her family and this song. So what happened in the middle there that she went from, this is a really great memory with my family, to I hate this song, where's the remote? And for me, tinfoil hat theories here. Again, we've said this on the channel many times. So if you're new to the channel, all theories are welcome here. Like nothing has been like proven yet. So we're here to just flesh out any theories you guys have. You can leave in the comments for us any theories we have. It doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. Who cares?
Yeah, for sure.
So this is where it all comes down to Wheeler for me. So I think that within this timeline, we know that Danvers' husband and son, Holden, were killed in a car accident. Now, I sort of say it like that, like, yes, they were killed in this accident, but was it an accident or was it on purpose? And this is where Wheeler comes in. So we've only really seen him this one time where Danvers is telling this story to Pete and she's lying about part of the story. She has said that when she got there that both of them were dead. That's not true. Wheeler was still alive and his girlfriend was dead. And he was whistling Twist and Shout. So a lot of people have been kind of like, okay, well, is this just a coincidence? No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it kind of played out like this. Danvers had said that her and Navarro had been called to their house like multiple times. And it was always like, oh, no, there's no problem. She fell down the stairs. She slipped on the ice. There was always some kind of excuse for what was happening to his girlfriend, and it was never him. And because the girlfriend was not saying anything, Danvers was like, there was nothing we could do about it except come back the next week when there's another call. So Wheeler, being Wheeler, was probably like, I don't like that these cops are coming near my house, messing around in my life. Like, I want to be able to do what I want. And they're sniffing around all the time. Maybe he also then decided to look into Danvers' life and learned a little bit more about her husband, her son, who both got into this car accident that may have been caused by him, may not have been caused by him, but I think that they're probably connected. And if that's the case, then he probably would have known about Twist and Shout, whether he was watching them or at the car crash. Maybe it was playing on the radio, or there was something that was happening there. Because in Navarro's sort of dream sequence, she has a little child's hand touch her on the arm and basically be like, please tell mommy, but nothing else. So I feel like the rest of that sentence is my death was not an accident. Like, help me out kind of thing. How else would he know about it? Because otherwise it's just kind of like, it's just a coincidence, and nothing on the show feels like a coincidence. I think he was following her. He, created that accident. And then it all clicked together when Danvers and Navarro came in, and he turned and looked at her and started whistling Twist and Shout. And she was like, oh, no, 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 no. You are not getting out of here alive. You are connected to this. You're done.
To me, that has to be the case. It's just like, I can't think of any other reason why he would know that song, why he would whistle that song. It's just that I don't think this show wants to be just like so hokey and coincidental, and I don't think they're really going to dive into anything like supernatural unless they really, really have to. And because of Danvers' history with that song, like, she is the one telling the story about what happened with Wheeler to Pete. Like, I think that she's putting that in there because it's an essential part of the memory that she has. And yes, she doesn't tell Pete the full story about everything, but I think she definitely told the full story, at least about that in that moment.
The fact that she was so mad at the lab.
Yeah.
The reaction feels like it's tied to Wheeler because she was so mad about what was going on there as well. If this was only connected back to her husband and, her son, and they're having a fun time, it's this really nice memory. Like, grief hits people in all different kinds of ways. It's absolutely true. I'm a former funeral director. I've done a lot of study into grief. People get mad, people get sad, people go into denial, all that. Like, it all happens. 5 stages of grief, absolutely true.
Yeah.
So is it possible that it is just connected that way and Wheeler doesn't have anything to do with it? It's possible. Yes, absolutely. But it's also possible that she's more mad about it, and it's not like, oh, this was a nice memory that I had with my family and I feel sad or I feel whatever, that because she has such anger towards Wheeler and he's whistling this song, which feels like he's trying to antagonize her, that every time now the song is just, it's ruined.
Yeah, I think this is the situation here where a lot of the show is about, what do you do with what has happened to you? What do you do when it comes to your trauma? How do you process it? How do you deal with it? And I think for Danvers, this is clearly not something that she's dealt with completely. And, it's obviously a horrible, tragic event. It's not something she'll probably ever be able to deal with.
Some people never do.
Yeah. And I think ultimately where this is now is she's in a situation where she can go through the day for the most part, handling some of this trauma, but at specific moments, things come a little bit back out and she has to deal with them again. Like, we did a video recently here about the one-eyed polar bear. We have a link in that description below. And that's something we play into a lot there, where it's just like these images just kind of keep flooding back because it's an essential part of Danvers' DNA. And because, Navarro was there in particular for the scene with Wheeler, heard the whistling. She's probably heard some from Danvers as well about this song, Twist and Shout. Like, when Navarro, is alone in the ice in episode 3, even at that point, she can hear just faintly before she just falls on the ice, Twist and Shout being played there. So this is a element of trauma that's sort of transferring between different characters. And this is not to say, oh, Navarro is a pure empath or anything like that, but it is to say that, okay, what's affecting her is affecting Navarro just as, what's affected by one person like Annie Kay and what happened to her, that's impacting the entire, Inuit community that is in Ennis. When you don't have answers to something, it just sort of lingers. And that's sort of the ghost that haunts this town. And that makes sense to bring up because there's questions about literal ghosts that are happening throughout Night Country so far.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, Danvers has lied about the whole Wheeler situation. That
Yeah.
would mean then to me that Navarro's also lying about it or keeping it a secret. Because if, one of them had told, then both of them may as well have told, right? But that
Yeah.
hasn't happened. So that was another reason I was thinking it was connected to Wheeler maybe being the person responsible for Danvers' husband and son being killed and that it wasn't an accident, because we've only seen that little part of that scene. If he's still alive and he's whistling that song, there's going to be more conversation that's going to end up coming from that. I feel that, he's going to admit to it. Something's going to happen. Navarro's going to learn a bunch of this information because
Yeah.
some of these like images that she's sort of dreaming or seeing or flashbacks, twist and shout,
Yeah.
these things aren't in her own mind necessarily, right? Like
Yeah.
twist and shout is Danvers. The one-eyed polar bear is Danvers. It's, it's the little stuffy that her son had. Everything just feels like it's all connected back to Holden, that I'm just like, Wheeler had to have had something to do with Holden, and Navarro knows about it. And so if Danvers kind of pulled what happened in season 1 with Rust and Marty when they had run into Ledoux, that they, maybe Danvers took out Wheeler, and Navarro was like, I don't agree with this, but like, I understand it, but I don't want to be any part of it. So like, it has to look like, we came here and this is what happened.
I think so much of this show in general is about these central events that you just can't move past for one way or another and how they sort of shape the rest of your life. And for Danvers, this is obviously what happened with Holden, if it's connected to Wheeler, like how all of this is sort of bundled together. And for Navarro, it is like this case of Annie Kay that she just has not been able to solve. Like, I do think it's coincidental that, Ferris Bueller's Day Off was playing at the Salah station. Yeah. Like, I have, nobody really seemed to know what was going on there except for maybe Clark. We'll have plenty of other theories as to what exactly is going on with Clark, whether he snapped or what was the whole impetus behind what happened there. But I don't think, Twist and Shout playing there was necessarily a direct connection to Danvers in that way. But I think what both her and Navarro are going to have to figure out if they want to actually get answers on all of this is that how can they use the trauma that they've gone through and sort of reclaim it as a way to get answers on what's going on now? Is there something to take away from all of the hauntings, all of the pain that Danvers has had, where she can sort of understand perhaps the motives of whether it's Clark or any of these other scientists and actually bring about answers? I think everything we're getting on this show is for a reason, and I don't think we're just hearing Twist and Shout over and over again because it's the only song that the show could get the rights to.
No, it's absolutely connected. I agree. I think that at the lab, it just happened to be a trigger of life. And that happens to all of us, that there's something that just hits us in that wrong way, and you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and a song plays, and then you're crying in a Walmart. Like, you don't know. It just happens. That's not like a specific reference or anything.
Yeah. I just think that no
I've never been just crying in a Walmart because some song came on.
I am also pleased to say I've also not been crying in a Walmart. Target on the no, I'm just joking. But no, I think in general, Twist and Shout is a song that feels kind of innocent on the surface, but whether it is you actually break down the lyrics, how, in the wrong context, I think a lot of it can feel very, very menacing, and it can feel very much about control, and the idea of Wheeler whistling it is sort of indicating that, you guys are mine. I control you. You never are really going to get away from me, even if I'm gone. And I think this show is distorting just a lot of that in the way that they're distorting the average case. They're distorting the idea of trauma. They're even distorting the idea of science, where you have people who are potentially trying to, cure the world of diseases. It is just like so far and away from what we would actually expect normal scientists to be able to do right now.
Yeah, because one of the other things, I mean, I think it was Pete that had said it when he was just like, why do you, you Danvers and Navarro hate each other? Like, it's not even like just like a you dislike each other, whatever. It was like, why do you hate each other? And
Yeah.
if Danvers put Navarro in that type of a situation where she's like, this guy had something to do with killing my son and my husband, he's going to die and he's going to die right here, and you have no choice about it. So you're either going to have to turn me in or not, sort of thing, that it puts Navarro in a situation where she's just like, you're the absolute worst. Like,
Yeah.
there are other ways to deal with this, to find some sort of justice. It doesn't have to straight be this. They're very different characters, but now that they're being, put back together again, it's like everything is clearly coming up for Danvers again, and it's coming up for Navarro, where she's seeing the one-eyed polar bear.
Yeah.
She's hearing Twist and Shout. There's the orange mystery that's going on right now, which because of these other things, I'm starting to feel is going to be all connected to Holden and the husband and Danvers as well. Like, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there. There's no proof of this. It's just theories that maybe like at the car accident, they were eating oranges or they had just gone grocery shopping or something like that. Because it always seems to be like this orange is rolling towards her.
Yeah. I feel like ultimately all these things are going to continue to manifest until this case is closed, and that this is going to be the way that they can move past it and start to heal, because everything, whether it's thematically or actually in terms of events, is all tied together, and it's something that they have to really look at, and they have to find a way to then use to their advantage, and just sort
Yeah.
of get that song that is stuck in your head and just sort of pull it out, and then maybe you won't at least think about it until the next time you're wandering around a grocery store and it plays.
Who else is excited for the idea that we're going to actually see that confrontation between them? Like, I really want to see that play out of
Yeah.
like why they're so mad at each other, what happened. Like, I don't care what the reason is. I just want to see these two together being like, you did this, this is why we are not getting along.
I feel like at the very least they probably shot multiple versions of it, or they shot more footage of that day, and
Probably.
maybe it's just a matter of, okay, where do we place it, because you don't want to give us all the answers right away. This is a
Mhm.
mystery show. You want to make it all linger.
Yeah, but we're almost in episode 4.
I
Like, we're
know.
at the halfway point. There's not that much time left.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully episode 4 gives us some sort of better inkling as to Twist and Shout. Can you conquer the song? Can you defeat the music? It all sounds so ludicrous, and yet it completely works within the fabric of this show.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Also, you can click that button there if you want to watch our polar bear theory. What's going on with the one-eyed polar bear?
Yep.
Also, join our Patreon for exclusive content. We have a link in the description below. Thank you to our patrons for your support. We'll see you guys here next time.